Hey everybody, Tom here for the Grass Hut, and this is our second, I believe it is, second cancer-free video, so we're real happy about that. Hopefully many more of them to come. Today we're going to be making an aftermarket fuel rail for the Ecotec motor. It's been brought to my attention that nobody makes one, so we thought, why don't we turn one out? Doing the video is kind of an afterthought. I actually already have the fuel rail itself already made. What we're going to be making now are the hold downs for it, which are a little involved with an Ecotec. A couple of angles and, hole placement is a little strange, but, no big deal. What we're going to do first is we're going to cut the blanks off in the bandsaw. We'll make a few blanks, and then we're going to put them into the Bridgeport. We'll make them all the same size. Then we're going to start doing the angles, the multiple angles, and drilling the holes, counter boring, because we'll, as usual, be using socket head cap screws. They're 6 by 1.0, the same size that the original fuel rail was held on by. So we're going to duplicate that to hold down the fuel rail and also hold the holders to the new fuel rail. I love socket head cap screws, so we're doing that, and they'll be counterbored, so they'll be sunk down inside, and everything should look really cool. Alright, so let's jump over on the bandsaw, and then onto the Bridgeport. Okay, we've got the blocks set up in here on a pair of parallels. I'm doing 4 blocks because I'm going to make two fuel rails. So we've got 4 blocks in here set up. Clamped them together so they'd all be parallel. Drop them down on the parallels. Clamp it down on the vise. We're going to cut this side, flip them over, cut the other side. Then we're going to start doing the angles. Okay, so we got the phase converter running in the background, and now we'll get this going. This next cut will take care of it. Still a fair bit to go. Now we'll do is we'll deburr all these edges, flip them around, do the same thing to the other side. We got to deburr the edges so that there's no little burr sticking up holding any of these things crooked. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Reach down into here. Okay, now we'll just pull these out, deburr all these edges, and then we're ready to start putting them in one at a time to cut the first angle. Okay, you notice here I got this, just this little part here. This was actually our one of our prototype pieces for the hole down. A couple of dimensions were off. We knew it wouldn't be exactly right, but just without any drawings and having to take real-world measurements on a three-dimensional object isn't that easy. So you just kind of take a close guess. You make the first piece, and then measure where things have to go from there. What I'm using this for is for this angle right here, because I can place this down on the parallels and slide a block against it, and it's going to make that angle correctly. We also know that the angle has to be cut, the corner has to be cut down just this far. It's not real critical. I can just gauge it with some calipers. But so we got the angle, and we know how much. So that's what we're going to do here. Here, unfortunately, we can't do the blocks in bulk. We've got to do each one individually, so we'll do each of these. Then after that's done, we got to cut this flat here. We got to drill a couple of holes, and then a third hole this way, and then counter bore them so that the socket head cap screws will sit down inside. Okay, so let's get this one going. Lay our block down in here. So we hold that. This is the mate to that one. I just milled that one down to use it strictly as my gauge for the angle, because this one with this, I need this for the for fuel rail hold down, but that prevents me from setting this up accurately. I'm going to do that, and we're just going to come down here to about like that. Okay. Okay, it's just the first block that I have to pay all attention to this. Now this stop is set up, so I know I can just bring them all down to this, so I'll do them all in basically 2 passes. So let's get cranking on the rest of them. I'll deburr this as it comes out, and then we'll crank on the rest of them. With this piece chucked up in here now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate off of this jaw. I'll find the exact edge, and I know where I want to place my holes on the y-axis. And the x-axis we're just going to kind of eyeball up to a sample that we already have. Okay, so we'll put in our edge finder. and hit our phase converter. And adjust our speed down a little bit on the bridge port. Okay. Now this is pretty cool. You'll see how this works here. As this thing spins, you'll see it's wobbling. As it touches the edge, it'll center, and then it'll just walk over slightly. Okay, here we go. We crank this in. See right there, it just stopped. And now we get it to walk. A tiny bit. Here we go. We'll zero the y-axis. And now we know from zero. This is, I'll mic this up again. I believe this is 100 thousandths, or excuse me, 200 thousandths. So we know 100 thousandths from zero is our true edge. Okay, we already located off the edge of this. So then I moved in another 100 thousandths and re-zeroed the digital readout, so zero is right exactly on the edge of this. Now what I'm going to do is I have a couple, have one right here, so I know right about where to go on the x-axis, and like I said, this isn't real critical x-axis wise. We'll just kind of center that. Looks good. Yeah, if we're off 10, 20 thousandths, it doesn't matter. It's going into O-rings. But anyhow, now what we need to do is we'll look up at our drawing over here somewhere, and several pages. And there's the first hole, 250. I'm going to zero my x-axis so that pop this hole. Okay, now we'll move over and we'll center drill for the next hole. Okay, you notice too, I just set up a stop here, so I'll be able to throw all the other pieces in just like this and go ahead and drill them. Alright, so anyhow, now we'll go ahead and drill the through holes. Okay, now we'll do this to the other one, and then we'll do the next one. I'm making, like I said, I'm making two pair. The next ones we have rights and lefts, so we're going to have to flip this piece around. The other ones we're going to have to flip around, so we're still measured off of here, and so we'll have to readjust our stop for that. But pretty much the same thing, and then we go on to the mounting hole. Okay, you see we got our setup completely reversed. What I'm going to do now is unlock this, get this closer, just kind of eyeball to get my x-axis right. And right there looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and zero that. And we'll move to the location for our first hole. And a second. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to flip, we're going to do the other one, then we're going to flip them around, do our counter bores. We got a cut to make over here, then we can do our mounting hole, and then we'll do a little decorative cut across the top. Okay, again, you know, right and left, so we have to do this twice, 2 different setups. I'm going to set this down on the flat, run a drill bit down here to locate the hole that way, and then I'm going to put my end mill in the drill bit chuck, which normally you wouldn't do because it doesn't exactly center them, but I'd like to make this hole a little bigger anyhow. So I'm going to put that down there. Get that like that. Put our drill bit back in. I already know why, so now I just got to pick up X. And there it is, right there. Zero my X-axis, and that just slides right in beautifully. And so now we also have to figure out the depth we want to go. About 470 thousandths from the top. Right there, we want to set our stop up 470 thousandths. Okay, so we're going to set our stop here at about 471 thousandths. We'll just slide that in. Right here we're hitting on the one side, so you got to feed real slow and easy or it's going to force the end mill over. That's why I keep raising and lowering, so I just tickle that out until I'm making a nice full even cut. There you go, now we're all set to just throw the other one in and do this. Then we have to check our setup again when we do the pair for the other side. Okay, and we changed our setup now. I got to stop in here. The dimension on the X-axis is not that critical for where this goes. What we're going to do is, I know I take it down right to about right there. I'll set this stop up. Now take it up just a little bit so I can kind of rough through this real fast and make my last cut a nice clean one. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, let's speed up our bridge port a little bit. Get a little more feet per second on the cutting edge of the tool. And so now we're ready to drill this hole, and we'll cut a little angle across the front here just to make it look nice, and then this is ready to hold the rail down. Okay, and now we still have rights and lefts, but what's nice now is all I have to do is, instead of putting it in this way, put the other one in this way, so don't have to change our setup. It works the same both ways. So we'll just kind of whack these puppies out now. Okay, so now we're doing the hold down bolt. And next, a quick counter bore. Get the table back to 0. Alright, now we're just going to cut a little decorative notch across here. Again, with rights and lefts, we will have to move our stop to the other side. The stop is really just locating on this so that this cut will be 90 degrees to this one here. Its location on the x-axis is unimportant, so I'm going to do these two first, then just flip this to the other side and you know, put the other two on, because obviously, you know, we only have that 45 on one side. So let's just hit this. Again, a light deburr. There we go, and that's going to look nice sitting on the fuel rail. It just a little extra effect. So we'll go ahead and knock the rest of these out, and then we'll put it on. Go ahead. Okay, here we are with finished fuel rail with the mounts attached. You attach the mounts to the rail first, then bolt it onto the cylinder head. The ends, excuse me, the ends are tapped for 8AN fittings, with seal with an O-ring on the end. Just 8AN fittings on this side. You can use 6 or whatever size you want on the other side. So now we'll just go ahead and kind of pop this onto the head. We're just using 2 fuel injectors because I just needed to locate the ends. You know, if you got each end right, stands to reason that the center is going to be right, right? There we go. Okay, here's the finished unit. Okay, here you are with the finished fuel rail. You see, it looks kind of cool there with the counterboard socket head cap screws. And we'll just take a little look from this away. And just, you know, little decorative cuts on the fuel rail there. Nothing special really. Just a little something just to kind of break it up. We took down this edge here just to make it look not quite so heavy. But there you go. Now you're all set to go ahead and use your stainless steel braided lines or whatever you want. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.